banter. Balls and banter. No excuses, just win, win, win with your balls and banter. We got balls, we got pucks, we got sticks, we got everything in between. We got balls and banter.
All right, what's up, folks? It is Tuesday. Hope you had yourself... It's Thursday. My gosh, we already got the day wrong. It's Thursday. I was going to say, I hope you had a great 4th of July. We already did that. We're here now. It's Thursday. It's the end of the week. We got some weird shit to talk about today. If you're expecting just normal sports stuff, just buckle up, my friends. Because
today's not the day.
It's not the day. We got some weird stuff. There is some sports stuff, to be clear, but we got some weird stuff that's going to be happening. Whole gang back today. Tom and Nate here. Zach in studio. Matthew punching the keys. How is everybody doing?
Doing well. And these are the kind of days that I like, where we're a little bit, sports light, and so we could delve into other topics that are a little bit more juicy.
This is your kind of day. There's no two ways about it. This is a Tom Cunningham day, if there ever was a Tom Cunningham day. The only thing we're missing is like aliens and MK Ultra. There's a lot of that stuff going on, by the way, we can talk about.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll get into all of it. Nate, I didn't get to hear from you, though. How was your 4th?
It was great, man. It was great. I had a great couple weeks off here. It was lovely. I feel refreshed. The batteries are recharged. Now let's knock out the rest of 2026, baby.
Let's do it, baby. Let's do it. We're glad to have you back. We talked about some NBA stuff the other day. You were sorely missed. It's like, well, that happened.
I'm sorry.
Okay, we're moving on. No, it's good. You got to do your thing. You got to do your thing. So there is some sports today. Some people wouldn't consider it a sport. We'll talk about it as if it is. World Cup quarterfinals start today. We've got France, Morocco getting after it. 4 p.m. I think it's 4 p.m. And then the rest of them are the days in advance. Here's the rest of the schedule to show that you can kind of see the lineup there. Spain, Belgium, Norway, England, Argentina, Switzerland. Let's keep that up for a second, Matthew. I'm all in. I think I said it the other day. I'm all in on Norway. Do I think they're going to win it? No. But am I a Nord? Yes. So I am going to just believe that we're going to be rowing that boat all the way to the World Cup. I don't think it's going to happen, though. What do you guys like? What game on this card right here excites you most? Who do you think wins the whole damn thing?
I'll say I'll go out on a limb here. My grandpa always said it's the best to be beat by the best. So I'm going to be rooting for Belgium here. The best we can say is that we got beat by the team that won it all. And so in my eyes, that'll be second place.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. All right. Maybe so. Played really well. Sorry, Tom. Go ahead.
I'm really excited about the France-Moroccan game, because this is like one of the first times, I think, in the the quarterfinals that two African nations are going against each other.
I was just going to say something similar. It's wild that there's an Islamic nation in Morocco that is out-Islamic by France.
I would say at this point that Morocco is less Islamic than France is right now.
Oh, hell yeah.
But I think that's going to be a good game. I think my personal favorite and the team that I'm leaning toward in this is going to be England, as far as who I think is going to win. I'd like to see Norway go as far as they can, if not win it, because I'm on board with Erling. I am, the social media videos and clips are going out with that guy. You just can't help but to like him. He's one of those characters in sports, to me, that comes around once in a generation. As good as Messi and Ronaldo are with their play on the field, this guy just has that intangible quality that just makes him a character that you want to hang out with. And so that's the team that I'm really pulling for. But if I'm putting money on it, I'm going with England.
Okay. England matches up well against Norway. That will be a good matchup. Nate, what do you think?
I think, France is still the favorite. England's good, but they've been tested pretty hard by a few teams. They should have kind of rolled over. Morocco, don't sleep on them. They're good, but I think their luck's going to run out this round. I was going to take Norway to beat England, but I heard yesterday that some kind of nasty flu is ripping through their locker room. So that's kind of makes you wonder. I'm gonna go France to win it all still.
It pains me.
If Norway wins, I'm switching to them. But this whole flu thing, it's tough for me to be like, oh yeah, they're gonna overcome a bunch of their players being sick and win 2 more games.
Yeah, but how much is that flu story actually real, and how much is gamesmanship?
Tom being Tom, I love it. I mean, no one's mentioning Spain. I mean, Spain's pretty damn good.
Spain's good. They're the sleeper candidate, I say.
I think that they're really good. I think France is the gayest team for sure, and Norway the strongest team. Like those are some big dudes. Like the Norway players are actually, they don't look like soccer players because like you walk out in Scandinavia just bigger, and. But it'll be interesting. I will say this: we picked on it Tuesday. We've probably picked on it ever since, or ever before. I'm not a soccer guy, but I will miss the World Cup when it's gone. I will miss it for just a few weeks, and then football comes back, and then you'll see the biggest smile on my face. I won't be wearing any pants. Everything will be right again in this world, but I will miss it when it goes away.
Yep.
So this afternoon, first game, France-Morocco. We'll see what happens.
I do have one question. I'm sorry to interrupt, Zach, but here's my question. I was scrolling through social media as I normally do, doom scrolling before I go to bed, and I came across a video clip saying that Earring runs a faster 40 than Tariq Hill.
Did you do any corroboration with that? Because that's pretty damn impressive.
No, because I was getting ready to go to sleep, and I was like, you know what? If I go down this rabbit hole, I'll never get to bed. So I took off my glasses and closed my eyes, and actually just now thought about it. So maybe Nate could look that up.
I gotta think that's a BS call. Like Tyreek is a disaster of a human being, but the dude, he looks like the freaking Roadrunner, or any cartoon character from the 80s. It's like, does he have wheel? What is going on there? They just go so fast. Part of it's because he's so damn short, but he's
right. Well, yeah, that story is believable in the fact that Erling's legs are probably 2 or 3 strides of Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, they're almost as tall as
exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. Interesting.
Wow.
Well, we'll see. Interesting thread, Tom. We'll have to do some. We'll put the deep dive research team on that one. And look into it. Or maybe we can get them to come do a 40 between the two of them here in the parking lot outside the studio. We'll talk to them. A quick adder. So, obviously, I'm a Minnesota Wild guy. Kirill Kaprizov signed a massive contract in the offseason. Highest paid player in the NHL, or he was, not anymore, because today, as of this morning, Leo Carlson for the Anaheim Ducks. I wish they wouldn't put their damn orange uniforms on there. Go back to the right uniforms. He is the highest paid player in the NHL now. 21 years old, 5-year deal, $90 million. Nate, would you be happy with that? Does that work for you?
I'd be happy with that. I'd be happy to be his brother. I'd be happy to be his friend. I'd be happy to be his neighbor. Just give me somewhere close to that 90 million, baby.
Yeah, you imagine that first barbecue that the neighbors get invited over to. That's a scene right there to be at. But, we weren't sure if it was going to happen. It did happen. What's your take on this, Mr. Hockey Boy?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard here because Anaheim could have signed this guy last year for a lot less money, and they'd have a lot more to work with this season. I think the number going around last year was $12 million. So that's an extra $5 million that they could put somewhere else this year. So they royally messed this up. I think it was smart on Philly to go in and try the offer sheet on this one. It didn't work out for them, but they're probably going to go try to get somebody else. Good on Anaheim for locking down their guy. It's just probably a little bit more expensive than they all probably wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, you're 21 years old.
That's a lot of money.
Kirill.
Yeah.
Here's the okay. This is the the problem with switching from more traditional conservative media where I got my start to sports. You start talking about these contracts, and it's like, man, like can we just not make me feel like a failure every day on every episode? Like, it's easier in conservative media, like, this dude's an idiot. This dude, like, once you get into the sports stuff,
I'm glad hockey's finally getting there. They're finally getting to the point where these players are getting pretty big contracts. I mean, this is the biggest contract ever, or the biggest per year. Well,
think about it, and that's $18 million a year. And that's like, the NFL guys are like, hold my beer.
Exactly.
And the baseball guys are like, you're ridiculous.
Yeah.
I made $18 million in the last hour.
Yep. Right. So, right. It's still not comparable, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
It is. It is getting there. Okay. We're gonna depart from sports for a little bit because there's some stuff that just, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about some of this stuff, but I feel like it needs to be talked about. So we're going to talk about it, and then we'll finish on some sports and some memes because it's Thursday, even though I didn't know what day it was when the show started. But if you want to feel better about yourself, I know we all do, right? We're all trying to always improve for ourselves, for our families or spouses. Someone that's struggling, I got you, because you're going to feel great about yourself after you read or hear about this headline. Because it's the most, we need a bumper for this. Like, we need a most absurd headline of the week bumper. We don't. But here's this headline. New York Post, I'll put it up there. Arsonist cuts off penis, then uses it to start a blaze in neighbor's garage. That is some deep-rooted hatred for your neighbor if I've ever seen it. You know what, Doug? I'm not just going to burn your house to the ground. I'm going to do it with my Johnson. That is crazy. I mean, here's the first paragraph of that article. If you want to go read it, it's on the New York Post. Maybe do a VPN or something just so you don't start getting some weird emails afterwards. But the writer starts off, his arson plan was a bunch of junk. I like what he did there. I see what you did. A firebug in Indiana cut off his own penis, dumped gasoline on it, then used it to light a blaze inside a neighbor's garage, according to police. Christopher Peden, 36 of Fort Wayne. By the way, we've got his picture. We can put that up. This is who the guy is. This is what a man who will cut his junk off and light it on fire looks like. Christopher Peden of Fort Wayne allegedly copped to giving himself the shaft after first claiming he was stabbed. According to court documents, Peden told the cops he harmed himself inside the garage in Fort Wayne by cutting off his penis with a kitchen knife. And then the story continues. We're not going to read the rest of it. What level of hate does it take for yourself and for someone else or something else to do this? I don't know that I worked in counterterrorism. I've been around suicide bombers. I've been around the worst people on the planet. I think this is like next level where you're willing to cut that off with a kitchen knife. No anesthesia. Like, there's no local anesthesia. Like, let me give myself some of this. Nope. Just like on the counter. Boom. I don't know if it was a fast. Hopefully he didn't go sawing. Like, you got to go fast if you're going to do it. Like, but that is just, this was crazy. I like spit out my coffee this morning. Like, what? What are we even talking about here? Who would do this? Tom, you've got to have something to say about this.
Yeah, I do. First of all, kudos to the person from the New York Post that wrote that. Not only do they start off with junk, but they incorporated shaft in there as well.
They did.
Yep. From what you read. And you're right. It takes a certain amount of hatred for yourself to be able to do something like that. And, I'm no saint. And I'm going to, and I've said this once and I'll say it again and I'll say it, out of all transparency, I've been plenty mad at old Winston Wolfe down there is what I call him.
I love that you gave him a first and a last name. That's great.
Because Winston has led me down the wrong trail on a numerous amount of occasions, usually with alcohol involved. But I have never gotten so upset with Winston that I ever wanted to do anything for him, to him. And the older I get, the more, and all of you guys are going to have this to look forward to. Winston plays a less of a role in your life the older you get when it comes to decision making. So you have that to look forward to. But I've got a couple of questions. One, first of all, I wouldn't, necessarily use my own as a fire starter. I think there would be a different sort of fire stick or a propane tank or something that I think that would be a bit more effective because, I mean, let's face it, if I were to get rid of mine, we're talking about, it would be like taking like a regular matchstick out of a matchbox and using that. So that wouldn't be my first option just because of the size of it. Second of all, I would think that this guy in Indiana is, he must have a pretty big one if he decides, okay, I'm going to use this thing like a torch, like you see in like the Frankenstein movies where you wrap cloth around it and then dunk it in, some sort of
kerosene or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, the size of it's got to be a pretty big size, I would think, to, have the intended result that you want. So that goes back to why would you do that? If you're, packing that kind of meanness down there, why would you get rid of that? Because it's not coming back. And so you're getting rid of something that you should be proud of. And you're just destroying that because you're mad at somebody else. This definitely has all the earmarks of somebody in mental distress.
I love the deep analysis from you on this. It is a pretty inefficient way if you're going to burn someone's house down. Like there's much better tools and methods to really accelerate those flames. Not that we're pro arson around here. We're actually very anti arson. Legal told me we had to say that. So we're very anti arson. You should not burn someone else's house down. Certainly not with that particular part. Nate,
imagine what the other inmates are going to say when he shows up there. And then this also brings on another question for me. Okay, he's gotten rid of the twig, but he still has the berries. Do you get rid of the berries after that point, or do you live the rest of your life having your berries still continue to produce sperm, and you go through, the rest of your life with constant blue balls?
I mean, I'm going to be real honest with you. I didn't think anywhere near that deep on it.
These are questions no one's ever had to think about before.
You imagine having blue balls for the rest of your life? You would go insane. There'd be no way out. You would have to do yourself in or get rid of them. Those are your only two choices.
That's what I'm saying. I've always been a proponent for Velcro testicles because they get in the way. It's hot. It's summer. Like, just put them in your glove compartment. Put them back on when you need them. No one's come up with it yet. I would be miserable, Tom. Nate, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I was just going to ask Tom. I know he's spent some time in Indiana. I was going to ask, is this sort of thing common there?
Indiana is a weird place, but as far as being common, this is the first time that I've heard of it, whether it's Indiana. Yeah, I would have to say this story does sound familiar, and I would have to think the last time I heard somebody cutting themselves off, their junk off like this, I'd have to go back to like India or something.
Indiana does. I mean, Fort Wayne, and then we always talk about and pick on Gary. It deserves it. There's like 2 or 3 of you from there that are great people. Thanks for watching the show. The rest of you got some stuff to clean up. Last thing on junk. I saw, there's been all these, like the left does all these protests. I think protests are dumb in the first place. I think they're particularly dumb when you're naked, like they often are. I got to tell you, I'm just an average dude on all the different fronts, and you can run with that wherever you want to. But I felt really good about myself watching the latest clip that I saw a week or so ago of some of these dudes who are parading themselves around extremely inappropriately in front of kids' families at these stupid ass parades that they're doing. But some of them walking around is like, oh yeah, like I feel good. Like they were big up top, small down low, and by the way, anyone who's watching the show for the first time, like they've left. But normally we don't talk about this stuff. But this headline it needed to be discussed. We've also got a guest in the studio today who's probably going to leave halfway through. But
why would anybody leave if we're discussing the penis sizes of men?
What's uncomfortable about that? They are hard-hitting issues.
No, but you're right. Whenever I see those videos, I'm constantly not really shocked, but surprised, I guess. Like when you have like these fat chicks that are out there who are totally naked, and it's like, oh, oh God, what am I looking at? And then you have the dudes that are hung like light switches cruising around. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
What
It's
are these
like,
events? I don't know these events you're talking about. What kind of parade is this?
They're typically LGBTQ parades. Sometimes they're in revolt of something politically, and it's like, you know what? Let's get naked. Let's just get naked and do this. Like, or not. Like, I mean, poster board and markers have worked for a long time. They haven't actually worked because protests never do anything. But you think that they do, so just maybe do that.
yeah, a lot of cities. I know Chicago, for one, has a nude bike ride every year. So
bike rides are hard enough on your ass and that whole region as it is. You're separating the bag at that point. Like that's a tough thing to do. I don't. Next story. Who's by the way, I'm calling him out on air. Zach has not seen Old School, so we've gotta address that. He's our younger generation friend on the show. We will do that. Maybe we do it. We can get I don't know who distributed that. Maybe we can get their approval to watch it on the big screen. We'll be doing the show. Zach will be on the couch watching Old School. But Luke Wilson, who was in obviously a Will Ferrell movie, Vince Vaughn, Luke Wilson, bunch of people in it, and he's an adult, and they're obviously they've started a fraternity for adults on campus. The whole thing super inappropriate, super hilarious. But he's at one of their crazy parties, and he, unbeknownst to he didn't know, has a little fling, a little hookup session with his boss's daughter, who's also a lot younger, as is everyone on the campus. But she's not even on the campus. She was actually in high school. But all the college kids were young. Anyways, it turns out like Old School was actually a documentary, as my buddy Buck Sexton was referring to on social media today, because Luke Wilson, this is California Post. He's 54 now, and he and his girlfriend, Kendall Yates, who's 24, are welcoming their first baby. So, like, he's literally playing out his character from Old School in real life, dating a young, beautiful woman. They're having a kid together. I'm here to tell you, I'm not 54 yet, but the thought of having a young tot running around and interrupting my sleep at that age or at my age sounds miserable. Congrats. I hope that you guys stay together, and I hope that you raise the kid right. I hope that all that goes well, and I mean that. But those two threads I thought were worth mentioning. Luke, this is a different level of robbing the cradle. Because 54 divided by 2 is 27 plus 7, that's 34. So 34 is the youngest he can go, according to the dating younger math, which of course is just made up. But that's the youngest he can go. He went a whole decade younger, like, nope, I'm going for 24, and I'm going to put my seed in her. I just a crazy, crazy story. Tom, do you want another kid at your age? I mean, you have kids, but a young kid?
I'm good. I don't think mentally that first of all, no. I wasn't capable at the age of 30 to have kids, and for me, being a parent, like everybody else, it's hard, but it's the greatest thing that you're ever going to do. And once you get through it, I'm at the point where I'm looking forward to grandkids now, because I feel like I can have a relationship with my grandkids, a little bit different than I had with my own children. It's the same way. It's a generational thing. Everybody, your parents don't treat your kids, Drew, like they did you. So that's the part that I'm really looking forward to. But when it comes to dating somebody that young, first of all, I'm not a boomer, so I really enjoy anything that younger generations do other than Gen X when it comes to creativity, coming up with new, speech pattern, new vocabulary. I think that's all great. But also, with somebody my age, I'm under the realization that it is generational, and I can appreciate it, but I don't really have that much in common with somebody that age. So me and Luke are pretty much in the same age category, and I can't can't see myself dating somebody who would be, younger or the same age as a daughter that I have.
Yeah, I think it's really weird too. I get I understand the worldly flesh appeal of going younger, just not that. That's a lot younger. That's a lot younger. And to your point, like there's the life experiences so vastly different.
Right.
Like, have you paid rent yet? No. I'm married to you. I never will. Like, it's a weird thing.
I was going to say, I'm the same age as Kendall here, so there's a good chance she probably hadn't seen the movie either.
She probably hasn't. I mean, maybe, hopefully, Luke, there was a forced watch party, but.
Yeah, he makes her watch all his movies, one every night before they go to bed.
Requirement of dating him.
What is the best Luke Wilson movie? Is it old school? What was the one with Martin Lawrence? Was it Blue Steel? Terrible cop movie, but yet also kind of fun. Like the kind of one that you want to watch when you're homesick from school over and over again. He's done some good stuff. Blue Streak, yeah. Was that one good? I didn't see it.
Idiocracy? Oh, yeah. We're actually living it right now, as most people say. I also like Luke in, Wes Anderson movies. And I think my favorite role that he did in one of those was Royal Tenenbaums. Oh,
yeah. That was good. Okay. Yeah. No, he's done a lot. Like, him and his brother have done a lot. Luke Wilson is his brother. You'd recognize his nose. Very famous nose. I feel like I slid into like a Trump thing there. Saying that I didn't mean to. Okay. So speaking of old school, there's some great news for Luke. He's dating a 24-year-old. Maybe great, maybe not great. Having a kid, it's weird. Whatever. Everyone just do you. I don't care. But there was a song that the Dan Band repurposed in old school, and it was a famous song by Bonnie Tyler, who unfortunately is no longer with us. Singer of Total Eclipse of the Heart. Is dead. Dead like a dog. But that sucks. That was a bona fide banger of a hit right there.
Yeah, the Total Eclipse of the Heart reminds me of spending time in Bangkok when you would go into a whorehouse with a bottle of Prel because you knew you were going to get a discount, and inevitably that song would be playing inside the whorehouse. Did I say too much?
You probably did. Yeah. Yep. That was that's a lot. That was a lot.
Have you ever taken a bottle of Prel into a Southeast Asian whorehouse?
No, I never worked the Southeast Asia AO. I have a lot of buddies who did, and the stories are there's something.
Ask them about Prel.
Okay, I won't. I definitely won't.
It sounds like one of your decisions made by old Winston Wolfe there.
Yes, it does. Winston's back.
There you go. Way to tie it in.
Rest in peace, Bonnie Tyler. Let's switch to the Ivy Leagues for a second, right? Because everyone loves kids who go to Ivy League schools. They're everyone's favorite. Because they went there because they tell you. But there's an Ivy League professor who was, I don't think there's a thing for this, Matthew, just FYI, but an Ivy League professor who suspected that there was maybe some AI cheating going on in the course, do you think? And so they forced an in-person final, which you would think would be the case anyway, especially at a higher learning institute, certainly one like Brown, who's an Ivy League school. And they saw average scores dip from a grade of 96, which is great. You're eligible. You're playing on Saturday. Congrats. To 48.
Yeah.
96 to 48. All these sons of bitches at this top level, the smartest kids on the planet, right? They're not really. There are some smart ones there, to be clear. But they're all using AI. So we've gone from teaching kids how to think to what to think to now we just have straight up AI. Yeah, not to think at all and just use AI. Why wouldn't you just use AI? So this story is not surprising. Obviously, this is prevalent everywhere and in everything, not just academia, not just I'm picking on the Ivies. It's not just the Ivy League schools. It happens everywhere. But what a crazy turn of events And there's some great uses for AI too. But to see how things have flipped so much, where you have these kids who allegedly, the ones who work their tails to get off into a school like Brown, which a lot of them did, and then there's some whose politician dad just got them into it, whatever. All of them there are using that. So you've got people who are supposed to be the future of America. They don't even know their head from their ass. I mean, think about that. Like, you've got, obviously you run into some pitfalls down the road in certain things, but you've got people who are in law school, in medical school. You're going to really be screwed in residency if you did this in medical school once you get to that point. It's going to be like freaking Spies Like Us when they're cutting him open. That's going to be like the scene that you see for the med kids. But like, it's all just total BS. And I think if I'm the professor, that rather than bitch about it, it's like, all right, Brown's paying me a lot of money. I'm just going to have AI grade my papers too. The kids don't care. I don't care. I'm going golfing. I'm going to, Claude, send out the grades for these and just mail it in. I wouldn't actually do that, but it's a crazy thing. Is anyone surprised that the students were incapable of even getting like a low tier F grade? Like 48 is like you didn't spell your name right on the piece of paper.
I think this is great because everyone talks about how AI is just like leaps and bounds ahead of us. Like, we can't even fathom how great it is. And they did 50%. We're half as good as AI. That's pretty good. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. It's something, if that's how you want to look at it.
All right. It's only 50% better than this, so,
60% of the time, it works every time.
What I think this is indicative of is a misuse of AI, because to me, AI it's not something to rely on for you to come up with a finished product. It is a tool to enhance what you have already in your head, to help you organize ideas, to help you come up with other ideas of how your one idea works, but you need to switch it to progress the idea. To me, it's like having a partner to bounce ideas off of, and then figure out what's going to be the best course of action for you to go forward. So that's how I use AI, as a sounding board instead of just talking to myself, because a lot of times with me, and I know you guys will find this hard to believe, I'll end up getting into arguments with myself. And then that causes, kind of like some weirdness that goes on inside my head, to the point where anxiety sets in and I can barely move. It's paralyzing at times. So with AI, I'm able to sort of corral what I have inside my head and set up a checklist of things to do. And then all of a sudden, life becomes manageable and you just start checking the things off. But once you start relying on AI for information, AI is a lot of times is going to tell you what it is that you want to hear. Oh, yeah. So it's not a research tool. In its best form, I believe, it's a tool to help the human mind progress from the point of either an idea or a concept and help flush that out.
Yeah, I agree. It's a very helpful tool if you're using it as a sounding board. If you want to feel good about yourself, get on Claude or any of these ones and be like, is this a great idea? And be like, oh yeah. It's fast too. Like, it's a brilliant idea. It's like, it's a terrible idea. Like, this is how the men who were protesting naked got their idea. They're like, should we do this? Yep. It's just a weird thing, but it is a super helpful deal if you're not leaning into it for like to be your end all be all.
Yeah, or for any kind of affirmation of like, oh, is my life really that bad, or is my life really that good? It has no idea. It has no concept.
Were like your classmates starting to use it?
It hadn't came around yet, but yeah, when I was around, we were trying, there were these websites that you could use. It wasn't AI, but yeah, you could throw the question in there, it'd give you the answer, kind of like the way AI does it now. And I was gonna say, these kids are supposed to be the smartest of the smartest. Everyone knows when you're cheating on a test, you got to get a couple answers wrong, so you throw the teacher off.
Yeah.
You know, a 96 overall. I mean, how do they expect to get away with that?
Yeah, take an 88, take a 91, an A minus.
90 still passes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not telling anyone how to cheat.
I mean, how things have evolved. Like, I used to have to buy, like you guys know, like a yellow and black book made by a great man, a prophet named Cliff. And he would tell you what was in the story in a short version so I could focus on football, and then I could have someone else write the paper for me. Like, that was it. Like, you have Cliff and you have a support staff. Now it's just, you put it into you could write a 5,000 page essay, or 5,000 word essay, excuse me, probably 5,000 pages too, in minutes. I don't know. Let's get back to thinking. It was better when people thought, like, that was a good thing. I know I just used an excuse. That was bad on my part. But everyone else should think. I'll use Cliff's notes. Let's get back to sports. We got a big fight Saturday night. Conor McGregor has made lots of headlines since getting out of fighting. His last fight, 2021. He's now making a headline because he's back. He's fighting Saturday night against Max Holloway. Nate, what do you see in this fight? Do you think the old man can pull it off? He's not really that old, but I'm saying that. What shakes out at this UFC event?
Not a chance he wins. Like you said, a guy hasn't fought in 5 years. Last time he was supposed to fight Michael Chandler, and he was too chicken. He was out partying instead of training. So it's hard for me to think in that short time. I believe that. I can't remember if that was last year or 2 years ago. But it's hard for me to believe he's back in fighting shape and like condition and like tough. Excuse me. It's one thing to get in good shape. It's another thing to like be in shape enough to fight someone for 5 rounds.
Right.
Much less Max Holloway.
Right.
He's got a big old coconut head, island boy. He's gonna knock his ass out.
Well, and they fought like over a decade ago, right? And McGregor won, but that was over a decade ago. And as you're saying now, McGregor's been out of it, like 5 years away from any sport, let alone a sport like this, to be in that level of shape. Like you can maybe come back in curling in 5 years, and cause like a little bit of a scene. The UFC, that's tough, bro. That is tough. By the way, I think we're going to be doing some live events at some UFC events. We were actually supposed to be at one yesterday. Not supposed to be. We were invited to be at one yesterday. We couldn't because of circumstances and travel. But we were supposed to be at the awards, rather. We'll see. I don't know. That's good. Here's my problem with these fights. I've gotten more and more into it. I do like it. But like Conor McGregor, like him and Holloway, they're not going to come on until so damn late on Saturday night. There's all these pre-fights, which are great. Those are great, and there's some great fights. You know, this is UFC 329. But by the time you get to the main event, it's been pushed back, and it's been pushed back. It's like, bro, like what? Like seriously, I have 4 kids. I run 2 businesses. We have the show. Like we've got all these. I got to get up in the morning. And if I'm going to stay up, then I'm going to have a beverage. Like, what are you doing to me? Like, this is an impossible situation you've put me in.
Yeah, and back to your point about McGregor having 5 years off. Drew, you know this better than anybody else when it comes to tactics. Anything tactical, shooting, moving, clearing rooms, or diminishing skills. And if you're not practicing them and you're not on top of them every day, they go away, and they go away rapidly. And the same could be said for fighting. To me, fighting and also, shooting, anything that involves a specific skill set. But I imagine, MMA fighting in particular, it's a diminishing skill. If you're not constantly sparring, if you don't have any fights, it's going to go away a lot quicker than you think it is.
Absolutely. All that stuff. And so many things diminish. I have people ask all the time, will you take me shooting? Will you teach me something? Like, bro, you don't want me teaching you. I don't have time to do it myself anymore. Like that it goes away really, really quick.
Well, and in UFC, it's such a short window, too. If you look at how long people's title runs are and how many people have multiple title runs, it's very few and far between. And, McGregor is an exception to that. He's had a pretty lengthy career and a good one. And so has Max Holloway. And Max is still maybe towards the end of the peak of his career. He's still good. He lost his last fight, but he's pretty nasty. So when you talk about these short windows and then just not even doing it for 5 years, and then the age he's at, there's not a chance he wins. I'm talking to my banker right now about getting my life savings out.
What can we put on this? Well, the line's got to lean. I didn't look at it this morning. The line's got to lean heavy towards him too, doesn't it? Towards Holloway.
It's been a minute since I looked. It wasn't as insane as you think. There was still money to be made, but yes, Holloway was the favorite.
Let's see if I can pull it up quick. Yes. If I can't, then we'll move on.
Nate will be calling Mr. Drysdale as soon as the show is over with. He's banker. Zach, I know you're way too young for any sort of Beverly Hillbillies reference, so I apologize.
I don't.
Yeah.
It's too hard to find. I don't see it clearly here.
Let me look it up, Drew. I can get it.
I was trying to just pull up the line on the Holloway McGregor fight.
I've got him on speed dial.
I bet you do.
You got Holloway minus 235, McGregor plus 182. So
okay, that is a little bit tighter than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's tighter than you think. It's $1 wins 43 cents on Holloway to win. So I'm gonna scope out some lines here. We'll see what we can do on it.
Okay, all right, I like it. I can't wait to hear back. We'll talk about the fight on Tuesday. It'll be great. Everyone stay up, make terrible decisions, and we'll see what comes. NASCAR's in Atlanta this. Listen to what?
Listen to Winston Wolf.
We got to get some T-shirts for Winston Wolf now that we know. There's so many things I want to say on that. NASCAR's in Atlanta this weekend, EchoPark Speedway. And this is one of their – so they have all these, like, in-season challenges. You know, now they have the different stages, right, in races. They've got different things going on. This is part of their in-season challenge, which is like a bracket. So you've got – I think there's 8 races. It's an 8-driver single elimination head-to-head bracket where the highest finishing driver in each matchup advances to the next stage. It's happening this weekend. Here we've got the standings. We can throw up that. The winner, basically, the race is still happening. The race is still the race. The winner of the race is still the winner of the race. The stages are still the stage winners and whatnot. But if you come ahead of your opponent who you're head to head with in the bracket, then you move on, and then the winner, which I think's getting settled in Indiana in a couple weeks in July, they walk away with $1 million. So little interesting, a little
and light the garage on fire.
Yes, exactly. We've tied everything back together today beautifully. This is perfection. So that makes it interesting. Over the weekend, well, not over the weekend, as we get into Monday, we've got the Home Run Derby. So that'll happen before we see you again. That's in Philly. That'll be interesting. Always a fun watch. The All-Star Game is Tuesday, so we'll see you before that game happens. But that's coming up. So some interesting things. Obviously, the other FIFA World Cup games throughout the weekend, and then just you've got the Scottish Open is going on right now on the PGA Tour side of things. So we got some stuff. Again, we're weeks away. I mean, OTAs are done. We're going to be getting into more organized team activities in the next couple weeks here. Like, it's going to be time to sit down so you don't embarrass yourself like Ron Burgundy standing up because football is coming back. Praise Jesus. It's going to be awesome. With that, let's get into some memes, and we'll wrap up for the week and get out of here. I think some of these are pretty. Again, let's just do the memes. Let's run some memes, and we'll go from there.
That's meme-tastic.
That's meme-tastic.
We should do that one more time.
All right. Reminder, gonna be talking to you about the book for Shafi coming up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead. I had a funny thought.
No, please share it.
So yesterday, Nate and I were in our office, and I had the TV on, and it was Lone Survivor, and Nate walked in, and it just happened. Well, I think right before Nate walked in, it was a scene where Mark Wahlberg is going, "I need a knife," and he's telling the kid, "I need a knife. I need a knife." And the kid leaves the room and comes back with the
chicken.
Yeah. And I'm like, that is Afghanistan.
100%.
Just imagine that being adults.
Yeah. There's a reason this thing is gray. Not the shooting and the bombs and all the shit that I went through. It was the conversations with people like, are you kidding me right now? Like, that was your answer? What are we even doing? There's no way we're going to win this war.
But the thing is, it's one of the hardest things to get past in dealing with Afghans or in Afghanistan is the fact that they mean well. Like this kid in the movie, he meant well. He thought he meant a duck. And then the other guy comes in, Mohammed Gulab, and he's like, a knife. He's like, oh, a knife. And he comes back in and he grabs the duck by the neck and goes to cut its throat. He's like, no.
It was
a knife for me.
Don't believe everything you heard about that guy. I've said that before. I'm not going to go into it today and slander people, but it's all bullshit. Okay. That is a great scene. That's a great scene. It's a freaking awesome movie too.
It sums up Afghanistan and dealing with the Afghan people, right?
It does. It does. I'm almost done. You and I talked about it the other day, and I've said some stuff on the show, but I'm almost done with the book. But I'm having to, go back into all of these moments to capture it and to get it done. Some of which are, there's all sorts of stuff that goes on. There's sad, there's devastating, there's all these things. But then there's just some of that stuff, which is not all captured in the book because it would slow the momentum. Where you're like remembering things, it's like, oh my gosh, like it was harder dealing with them sometimes, just conversationally than the other stuff. It's like it can be so freaking frustrating.
I can't wait to read it because I remember I was still living in LA when that was going on. And I remember sitting on my deck and you calling me like, every few hours, you were calling me daily. And then.
Oh, we lost you. He muted? No? Okay. We lost Tom's audio, but I was calling him daily. I was calling everyone daily. I don't think I slept for weeks. We live on a lake, and I'm always out back smoking. There we go. There's Tom. Okay, you're back. Okay. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
I was calling you daily. Then they cut off.
Yeah, and I can't wait to read the book because I feel like that I have a pretty clear idea of what was going on during that time frame, but there were also a lot of other things that you didn't share with me just because the amount of time that we spent on the phone that were actually happening because you had Shafi that you were going through. The guys that I was embedded with ODA 361 were getting a hold of me on WhatsApp trying to, ask me if I knew anybody that would rent or charter an airline to fly to Afghanistan. It was crazy trying to use Bitcoin to be able to use that to help other translators, other Terps get out. Yeah.
Crazy time. It was a crazy freaking time. Well, it'll be fun to share it when it is time. There'll be lots of expectations and favors called in when that comes. With that said, though, let's get to some memes. There'll be plenty of self-promotion for that later. We've all seen the different videos, but I think we even had some memes last week on Sophie Cunningham, who is America's second lady. She's actually not. It's Usha Vance, but like Sophie's right up there at the top. And now they've redesigned the Statue of Liberty with Sophie pointing, which I think is a great. In the book she's holding, "Don't you point at me."
Yeah.
The other chick's so frustrated. I think here's the thing. I know we've talked about it already. It's not just because I like Sophie and she's a great character and she's good for the WNBA and she's all the things. I love quiet taunts and trolls like this so much. She didn't have to say a damn word, and it got under the other chick's. I don't know her name because she doesn't matter. She plays in the WNBA. It got under her skin so much more by not saying something. I just golf clap for Sophie Cunningham. That was freaking awesome.
I definitely think the Statue of Liberty should be changed to an actual female instead of this weird sort of trans thing that this, socialist in France came up with.
It was the start of the Macron family. Yeah. Here's a firework display of Sophie. Again, simple. God bless her. She's awesome.
Dude, it's a way that the finger curves, I think, for me, is like the best part of it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just a big fan. Next meme. Obviously, this didn't end up going well for us in the end, but we've got Balogun getting the red card. He's throwing an Uno. The switch. What is the switch card?
Yeah, the Uno reverse.
The reverse card back at the at the ref. Didn't go great. Here's a pie chart. This is a Venn diagram. Actually, Kamala loved these. Cam was a big fan of these, and Willie Brown and his junk. But so we got on the left side a soccer game, on the right side prison sentence. The things that match in the middle, don't know exactly when it'll end, which that's true, and then always leaves a little gayer than when you went in. Fair point. The soccer fan's so offended, but
real quick on that red card, I think it's members of the FIFA board. They are filing lawsuits against the head of FIFA because of political affiliation, because he's been seen wearing Trump jerseys, and then he took that phone call from Trump, and then magically the red card got reversed. So they're basically saying, he's playing favoritism in what's supposed to be a fair and unabridged sport, So, FIFA's crooked. It's they're notorious. So it's not exactly a shocker, I'd say.
They're essentially the mob.
Right.
They're going to court now. So.
They're trying to say that they have some sort of integrity.
Right. This is the worst thing that's ever happened.
I'm sure it's not over. It's over for us. We got our asses kicked by Belgium, but I'm sure that's not.
We were ready for it, though. We were expecting an ass whooping at some point.
Yeah.
In the World Cup.
Again, we talked about it Tuesday. Guys, we're not a soccer country. Doesn't mean it wasn't fun. We had a good time. We had some beers together. Let's get back to the real sports and what we do well in America.
In retrospect, it would have been better if he wouldn't have played, because then it would have been, oh man, our best goal scorer was out. Things would have been different.
Yeah, exactly. Instead, him and Polstead, however you say his name, and all the guys just kind of laid an egg. It is what it is. Here's our guy from Norway. We got Mexicans in America after 3 generations still holding a Mexican flag. Holland in America after 5 minutes. Y'all can kiss my ass, Dallas, or kiss my Dallas. And he's wearing a cowboy hat and boots. The dude, what you equated him, Tom, to Carl from Die Hard,
yes.
The other day. He's a perfect 80s action movie villain. Okay, we got a Babylon Bee headline. America finally interested in soccer after realizing how angry you can make Europeans. Yeah, that's just fun. You pissed them off. That was a good time. Okay. We got Tom Brady versus a Belgium picture. Super Bowl wins. U.S. still has 60. Belgium has 0. So, we're still winning in that category.
Yep. The real winners. Congrats to us. Yeah,
our waffles are better too.
Our what?
I said I'm going to go ahead and say it. Our waffles are better too.
Yeah, absolutely. Although I do like a Belgian waffle, but yeah, I'm here for it. We're not a soccer country, but we're better at everything else. Their chocolate's good too. My father's on a cruise right now. He's on this cruise. They don't eat chocolates, and they always give them. It's like this hoity-toity thing. If he's listening, I love you, Dad. But they send him home with this stuff. They load the rooms with booze and chocolates and blah, whatever. But they send him home, and they this. These sons of bitches come in drawers. It's a little. It looks like a jewelry case, and it's you pull out a drawer, and there's a bunch of sweet, delicate treats in there that are from Belgium. So hopefully, if you are watching, Dad, before you get off that boat, grab a couple of those boxes and bring them home, because they are good.
Let's say, what cruises are these?
They are. I'll tell you about them later.
There you
go. Here's Forrest Gump, and all of a sudden, everyone stopped caring about soccer again. Yep. Who's going to win that Kyler Murray JJ McCarthy battle? That's where my head's at right now. I'm not worried about all this other stuff. I read an interesting story, by the way. Nate, you might find this. Anyone might. Any of you would. But there was an article this morning. I think it was on Yardbarker. Trying to give credit to who it's due. I think it was there. And they were talking about some different discussions that were happening where obviously it's not a done deal. A lot of people think Kyler is going to be the guy. And you would lean towards that, and I lean towards that too. But JJ knows the system. He did play well down the stretch. Well enough, maybe not, but well enough, better down the stretch. They ended up finishing 9-8. So it's not a done deal. And what they were saying is their thought is whoever wins, Carson Wentz is number 2, and the third guy's not on the roster. So they're like, if and they were talking about this from this angle in this particular article. If Kyler gets beat out, they're like he demands a trade and is somewhere else trying to capitalize on the fact that he's on the final year of his deal that the Cardinals are still paying for, which I think was an interesting take. Obviously, if JJ doesn't win, he's likely not the future of the Vikes. But if Kyler doesn't win, they're like, Carson's number 2, and in this person's mind, they're sending him packing, which was an interesting take. Carson Wentz, a good number 2 guy, but Kyler Murray, a really good number 2 guy when you're only paying him $1 million a year.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask is what's Kyler's contract? Because I mean, I think he either of those guys would probably be clearing better than Carson Wentz as the number 2, but you're not going to pay Kyler Murray a shitload of money to be your number 2. So it depends on the contract. I don't know. How do you feel about sailing the boat on JJ just because he doesn't win? I mean, he was injured for his first full year. He had last year, so it's like more or less his second year. I don't know if I'd sail the boat on him yet.
I have not given up on him whatsoever. I think he's a winner. He's been a winner wherever he is. Is he as far along as we want him to be? No, but again, he didn't play the first year. He only played about half of last year. And down the last stretch, we won, I think, 5 in a row. And if it didn't have the rules the way they are now, I'm not advocating a change. Maybe I am. Where, every conference winner goes. I mean, you had a team with a sub 500 record go to the playoffs. The Vikings got up above to 9-8 and didn't go. But they finished strong, and all the guys. Here's the key part for me is everyone in the locker room freaking loves him. You've got his line, you've got his receivers who are like, this guy's a winner. Like if you saw the version we saw, you'd be behind him. So I think Kyler's great. And if I'm them, the Cardinals are paying him $34, $35, $36 million this year to play in Minnesota. We're paying him $1 million. Like even if he doesn't win the job, which I think he probably will, but even if he doesn't, keep him as your number 2. Are you kidding me? That's the best backup in the league.
Absolutely. And I mean, we've seen Carson Wentz as a backup before, and he's not good.
It's not great.
Yeah. So, and there's a reason he's bounced around as a backup on so many teams. So, yeah, I think you keep both of them regardless. I don't think Kyler can force his way out. That's not going to end well for him.
Yeah. Well, it looks pretty shitty if you're, I didn't win the job, I want to trade. Like, okay, you're going to be a free agent in several months. Just suck it up and learn from KOC. You're under the best quarterback coach in the league. So,
right. And you're still getting all that money from Arizona, so you got nothing to complain about. It's just like, don't be a locker room like cancer, or they're gonna whip you.
I agree. We'll see. It's definitely one, and not just because I'm a Vikes fan. It's definitely one of the most fascinating storylines in the offseason. Back to memes. Back to soccer. Here's a gravestone. Here lies my soccer fandom. June 2026 to July 2026. It is crazy how fast it goes. See you in 4 years, soccer. Right. We'll see you in 4 years. Everyone in America, after the loss, hanging themselves. We're not condoning self-harm or violence. And then Minnesotans, also in the news. First time. Yeah. Welcome to my world. It's not fun. This is kind of like that Tom Brady one earlier. We got SEC championships. The U.S. has 34. Belgium 0. Again, getting your ass kicked, Belgium. Like you might win the whole damn World Cup, but you're not winning on college football Saturday. Next meme. Wife says she will be ready to go in 45 minutes plus stoppage time. They did get an extra excuse added in now. 45 minutes could be 43. It could be 47. Excuse me. 45 minutes could be 47. It could be 52. It could be. I'm giving it less time.
Is there a hydration break mixed in there too?
Hydration break. Yeah.
Hydration break. Yes. Yeah. For all these dudes who are from the continent of Africa, Saharan and sub-Saharan, they really have problems with hydration. They've just never been able to figure it out ever since they've been playing soccer. Those hydration things are the dumbest thing that I've heard in a long time. I would have to go back to, let's say masks.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think masks are worse. This is clearly, as we've talked about, a money play. These guys, this is what they do. They run for a living.
Right.
And they don't even have water in Africa. The ocean's not real in Africa. Like, there's no rivers, there's no nothing. There's no water there.
Dude, you should have seen me trying to explain the timing to my wife in soccer. She's like, why is the clock going up? And I was like, well, it's one of the reasons why the sport drives me crazy, because it doesn't count down, it goes up, and then they add time to it, and the referee's the only person who really knows how much time is left in the game. She's like, that's dumb. And I'm like, I know. And she's like, why would they do that? I'm like, well, that's the way that they've always done it. Well, they shouldn't do it that way. Yes, I agree with you, but not the rest of the world agrees with you. And she goes, well, it doesn't make any sense, because now it says +2 of, it's a +2 and we're 94 minutes in. Is that +2 more? And I said, again, the referee is the only one who actually knows how much time is left.
This is like one of the perfect spots for like a Nate Bargatze joke. Like, no one knows. Like, no, because no one does know.
No.
Like, what does this mean? No one knows.
Right. And so arbitrarily, so that, this has always been my problem with the timing of soccer games, the way that they do it, because if you have a corrupt referee, he's just going to keep adding time, or he's going to subtract time. There's no sort of overseeing of the official time of the game.
Yeah.
What they want. That's what they want.
It is. Freaking mafia, baby. Freaking mafia. There was a wedding last week. I'm not going to shit on Taylor and Travis. We do that enough. I hope they're happily married. I hope that their marriage lasts. That's great. I wasn't invited to the wedding. None of us were. We could have done the show live from there. Whatever. I'm not butthurt. But
Next time.
It was my birthday anyways. I wasn't going to go. But this makes a good point. And Tom, I think you in particular will agree with this particular meme and graphic, because it says Taylor and Travis, the second most famous wedding at Madison Square Garden, the most famous wedding between Macho Man Randy Savage and Queen Elizabeth, which also happened in Madison Square Garden. I would much rather watch 80s wrestling weddings than the other one.
Oh, yeah.
Did they sell it out? Did they sell out MSG? Or did they like close some of the seats down? Did they not open the upper decks?
No, it was all private. It was all private, and there was no phones, no, like, you weren't supposed to talk about it.
Okay. So
Even though everyone knew it was happening, it's not happening. It was like the worst kept secret ever.
Okay.
Okay, we got a blonde, attractive female. Call her beautiful, not hot. She's a woman, not temperature. And then the guy that you always see respond, Javier, down below, says, love his soul, not his money. He's a human, not a bank. True for some. It's true for some. Not saying that's true for everyone. We always see these. I don't think any of them are real, but we've got an attractive Florida woman. Woman arrested after hiring a clown to attend every one of her ex's softball games and clap sarcastically. I just love that trolling. Like that's like I appreciate that effort.
That's next level.
That is next level. Like you've got Sophie pointing, and then you've got a clown who's just there doing the things. Okay, what do we got here? If I send you this text, it means I'm not showing up.
Oh man!
And it's a picture of Pulisic or however you say his name. That's harsh. He didn't.
But it's true. It's kind of true.
I mean, he turned the ball over 11 times in the first half. Yeah.
What's a turnover in soccer? They're just kicking it around the field anyway. Someone else gets it, and it's like, how you turned it over?
Yeah.
I just kicked it.
Turnover in soccer. It's like clock management in soccer.
Right. So you guys have been to like CPR courses before, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You've got the dummies and whatnot. And you get shown the different ways to do it. This is the wrong way. But if you are going to get CPR, to this guy's point in this message, this is a way to do it. I don't know if it works, but you've got a girl sitting the opposite direction over the face. And this guy says, if this doesn't revive me, don't waste time doing chest compressions. I mean,
Sydney Sweeney?
It's not Sydney Sweeney, but she's an attractive female. She's an attractive female. sitting very inappropriately for those listening to the podcast on the face reverse style. I don't know how to describe it without getting in trouble on all the different platforms, so I'm just not going to do it. And then lastly, for the Gen X and Boomers and beyond, Super 70 Sports, a great follow. We've got a big ass wood paneled station wagon. When you learn to parallel park this mofo, you can forever walk this earth fearing no man. Absolutely. I mean, those things were beasts. Freaking family truckster right there, baby.
Dude, the best though was in the far back where all the storage goes. You could pull the carpet back and flip up the seats and sit back there, so you're staring at traffic coming at you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean,
car sick doing that as a kid. That happened to me a few times. We had one of those. It was newer model than that one, but yeah,
it is wild. I mean, you'd have that where you could sit backwards. It was flat. We would go on road trips in a van. We were talking to my mom about this the other day at 4th of July. You know, at one point we had an orange rabbit. It was like, why did we get an orange rabbit? And then we had a van that we'd take, and it was brown and yellow. It was like, my dad was a successful doctor. He still is. Like, we couldn't have gotten like a normal color. We had this brown and yellow ass van. Looks like the Wyoming Cowboys like mascot vehicle. And then every seat was gone. It was a free-for-all with me and my brothers in the back for like a 16-hour drive for our summer road trip that we'd go on. Like, no rules. Just piss in that thing and like do whatever you're gonna do. Like, it's a wonder.
The custom van was the best. It's one of those vehicles that I really truly miss from like the 70s and the 80s. And then then we got into the world of the minivan and the SUV. But back in those days, the custom van, it was a luxurious experience. And you know what? It was also one of those red flags if you're a parent, and somehow my mom failed to see it. When I was a kid, I was an altar boy, and the priest who was in charge of all the altar boys, he would take us to go see professional wrestling. So we would show up at the church. My mom would drop me and my friend Danny Sullivan off, and we'd get out of the van, and we'd get out of the car, and there was a custom van waiting for us with the priest, that I'm not going to mention his name, and his man friend, who was a very successful interior decorator in Naples, Florida. And I was like, Mom, didn't it ever occur to you that this might be a little weird, dropping your son off and his friend getting into a van with, two guys who, one of them decided to give up women and brags about it, and another guy who's a lifelong bachelor deciding to take a bunch of kids to a match where you have guys in leather masks and Speedos wrestling with each other.
I can hear her saying that. I can hear that conversation. That's awesome. I mean, it's not.
It was a different time.
It was.
Yes, it was.
All right. Well, I don't know. I mean, that's just how we're ending it. That's the point that we end the show on today. Enjoy the soccer game. It started. It should have started 13 minutes or so ago. So enjoy that game if you want to. Screw you, France. No one likes you. I hope you lose to Morocco. Morocco's got better food and better terrorists. Enjoy the rest of the game over the weekend. Enjoy golf, NASCAR, all the things that are happening. Home Run Derby Monday. We'll look forward to seeing you back here on Tuesday. Please hit that like button on the way out. Be safe. Be smart. Be free.
We got balls and banter.